Hello, everyone. Hello again, everyone. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Welcome to twitch.tv/, the Onyx Path, where tonight we are gathering for Dystopia Rising Evolution Making Connections Session 2, Take 2. Sorry about last week, folks. We had a couple of emergency situations that could not be addressed at any other time, but we are, for the most part, back and functional and ready to dive back into our tale. Before I go too far into that, I do want to draw a couple of things to your attention. First up, over at Indie Press Revolution, we still have the OGL sale going. That includes several of our titles at 50% off, and these are traditional print titles, the kind that you would get say if you head back to Kickstarter, or if you went to your friendly local game store, which you may also do to order these books. But they're half off. You can head over there and pick that up. I also want to remind you that the GM's Day sale is still going on over at Drive-Thru RPG. It goes through the 15th, I believe. I believe they end at like 9 a.m. Central Time. So really it goes through the evening of the 14th. But that's up to 30% off of most PDFs. And then over at Drive-Thru Fiction, there's a similar deal, mystery sale, which focuses on, mystery, short stories, novellas, things along those lines. And you'll find several Onyx Path books on offer there. I also want to remind everyone that at the last Friday of every month, we have Onyx Path Game Night through our partners over at Start Playing Games. You can head over to startplaying.games and set up your own game if you want to, or just look for somebody else's game to join. Let's say you've picked up one of our books and you want to try the game, but you have not had the opportunity to do so. This is a perfect opportunity to do that. Or if you just, you go up in list a game and say, I've never run this before, but I want to try it. I'm looking for new players. Maybe you'll find a whole new group. You never know. So please consider heading over and doing that. I'm hoping, if everything falls together, I'll be running a Trinity Continuum game this month during game night. Last month I ran Dystopia Rising Evolution. It was a great success and a lot of fun. I also wanted to let you know that the Trinity Continuum Player's Guide is the backer kit page is set up so that you can sign up for notifications. It is not live. It is not currently crowdfunding at this time, but you can sign up for it and get notification when it does go live. And if you'll bear with me for just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, I will get that link for you. Thought I had it nice and handy. Turns out I was wrong. Every once in a while, we make that mistake. But here we go. I'll throw that link in the chat for you. And that is pretty much all of the important Onyx Path action items. Normally, I do not promote my non-Onyx Path stuff on this channel, just because I have plenty of Onyx Path stuff to be promoting. But I do want to take a moment to suggest everybody head over to my Patreon, patreon.com/Travis Legge, spelled like it is under my face. Because we just released a early access to the cover for Odysseys and Overlords 2nd Edition. That post will go public at noon on Wednesday, noon Central. And we'll be talking a little bit about the forthcoming crowdfunding campaign for that as well. And I'll be playing Odysseys and Overlords 2nd Edition over at the Roll for Seduction Twitch that day, usually starting around 3 p.m. Eastern, depending on, tech weasels and makeup. So now that I have done all of the various advertising and discussion and shared links and all that fun stuff. Let's go ahead and meet our players. Start things off with Lecco. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would care to promote.
Well, hi, I'm Leco Rodriguez, teamleco.com, personal trainer, specialized in weight loss and body transformation. You can reach out for a free consultation, and I will happily discuss your goals and frustrations with you. I am playing Topher, the Gopher of Green Gopher Dispatch and Delivery, the last hope for parcel delivery in a world overrun by zombies. Are you tired of waiting weeks for your package to arrive? Want a delivery service that's fast, reliable, and zombie-proof? Look no further than Green Gopher Dispatch and Delivery. Wait, who could that be? Hi there. I'm from Green Gopher Dispatch and Delivery, and I'm here to deliver your package. Wow, you guys still deliver during the zombie apocalypse? Of course we do. Our team of expert zombie slayers and delivery drivers will make sure your package gets to you in one piece. Or we won't.
I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. That has brightened my evening. And speaking of brightening my evening, CJ, please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, anything you'd like to promote.
Hi everyone, I'm CJ Starry. You can find me pretty much everywhere under CJ Starry, including Twitch, Twitter, etc. My pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Hayden Horn, whose pronouns are also they, them, are resident sawbones on this delivery service. Other than here on the Onyx Path, you can find me every Wednesday evening on Ink and Lyre, Lyre. And I'm having fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. We are happy, as always, to have you here, and I appreciate you taking the time to meet with us. And last but most certainly not least, Kevin, please, your pertinent details.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin Zarnicki, game designer, voice actor, tutor, in case you want to be either of those things. Sweet Cheapest, I need students, please. Oh my God, I'll cut you a deal. I only charge 30% of what everybody else does, which is weird because I still feel like I charge too much because I'm a giving guy. Okay, seriously. I'm a he, him. My character, Rav, is also a he, him. Rav doesn't do the talking, which is super weird if you know me as a player. Rav doesn't like the light. Rav eats alone. Well, not exactly alone. There's always one guest, but there isn't afterward. Rav likes to pick him off at a distance. Rav can get you through that radiation storm. Rav can get you anywhere. And if you pay, you won't be the meal on the way.
You're walking through the woods.
Rav LaBeouf. No, all right.
Is survival what I use to use a bear trap?
Yes, it is. And as
Gaining
well,
on you.
if you need to
About 30 feet back.
No, Tuesday night.
Gnaw your leg off, it would also be a survival roll.
If you could do jujitsu, you've got a shot.
That's valid. And fortunately for you all, when last we met, you were not faced with anything quite so terrifying as Shia LaBeouf, but almost
that you know of.
But almost as terrifying as you were making your way across the Delphian Wastes. A particularly nasty rad storm came rolling in with funnel clouds and lightning and the full nine. Seeking shelter from that storm, you pulled into a tunnel. That tunnel had several derelict vehicles in it, but it was wide enough for you to get through in the truck that you're driving, the dump truck. However, as you made it about half mile into the tunnel, you came upon what appears to be a small settlement, and that was where we wrapped things up. So the winds are blowing. Topher and Hayden are in the front seat. Rav is in the back with Darcy, who is unfortunately not able to be with us today, but I am authorized to drive for her. So what would you like to do as you're pulling up to this settlement? You can clearly see those of you who are in the front anyway can clearly see people kind of moving about at a rather frantic pace as if they are trying to shore up shelters and things along those lines.
I floor
Do you
it. I'm
think-
just kidding. Kidding.
Do you think they're gonna let us go through?
I mean, I'll stop the truck. Apparently, the path doesn't really go through, right? Like we kind of stop here because there's settlement in the middle.
Yeah,
Like, are they
so
clogging up the tunnel?
they're pretty well clogging the tunnel. It looks like they have sort of a makeshift. It's not so much a gate as it is kind of a series of staggered barricades that you could theoretically snake your way through, but they are. It's a pretty narrow passage for you to get a dump truck through.
Okay, I'll stop the truck.
Excellent. You stopped for about probably. Oh, did you have some, Ref?
Oh no, I was just like, honk the horn,
Oh, right.
real friendly. Doot, doot.
You probably stopped for about 5 seconds before a couple of folks kind of look over in your direction, and they're wearing, kind of piecemeal stitched together clothing. You can clearly see some reinforced plates that have been sewn into the clothing. So it's very, very sort of slapdash armor.
Okay.
And one of them has a bolt thrower on a hip holster. The other one does have like a submachine gun, and they are carrying it in sort of a standard ready position, as if they've been trained to use it a little bit. Yes.
Question. I saw bolt thrower in the book. I've heard bolt throwers spoken. I've read too much 40K not to picture a bolter. What is a bolt thrower?
It's basically a pistol that's designed to shoot like long metal bolts at someone, as opposed to.
I'm pretty sure I had this. I think I had this exact same question on session 0. I was like, and now I have one. So.
Or is it like a crossbow bolt? Like, yeah, okay. It's a long tooth pipe gun.
Right. Yeah. Effectively.
Okay.
Over on the little radio that we have in the truck, I will radio to the back and say, I'm going to go say hello. Please cover me. And I will hang up the radio and put my green gopher helmet on, kind of straighten my uniform, and I'll look at Hayden.
Yep. You want me to come with you?
Actually, no. I'd like you to slide into the driver's seat in case something happens.
Okay.
Reverse
I can
is
do
this
that.
way.
And it's gonna reverse is what you wanted me to do if something happens?
You're not going to make a 3-point turn in here. So
That wasn't my thought.
well, let's try not to absolutely annihilate the. I'll be back, maybe.
Okay.
Hopefully I get out of the truck.
And it's gonna kind of like roll down the window a little and just get their own gun out of their holster as well.
Rain or snow or sleet or civilian settlement. Nothing stops the mail.
Precisely.
I have a couple rolls to make if I may.
Sure. What you got in mind?
First thing, we consulted the maps. We know where we are. I'd like to make a lore check. Is it a culture check? To see if there's any word about what kind of people would be in this area. Is there cultural precedent?
So lore would reflect rumors you might have heard, stories from the road, things along those lines. Culture would be more if you are focusing on trying to recognize telltale signs from what you see in the settlement to make sort of a judgment call as to what kind of settlement it is. You may choose one or the other. You probably don't have time to do both before this interaction takes place.
I'm thinking for a second, then I'm going to try to be stealthy as I poke my head up with my rifle to cover, as I try to cover Topher. I know we've got those big machine guns on the sides, but I don't think the fire arc is going to be good enough to help you. But I'm going to try to be quiet and stealthy about it because I assume the tunnel is dark.
The tunnel is fairly dark.
Okay.
Excuse me. The settlement itself is lit. You see several fires burning in cans and whatnot.
Well, and our headlights are pointed right at the people.
Right. So you're
Exactly,
illuminating
yes.
in front of you. So I'll give you, as far as the knowledge check, are you going to rely on lore or culture?
Uh, you know what? I'll go with a culture roll.
All right,
I'll try to get a look at them once I poke my head out.
sure.
So culture, we've got a 9 and a 10. Tens explode.
Tends to explode. Also, you do get to pair that with an attribute of your choosing.
That I did.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Um,
And
okay,
which
I've got.
attribute were you relying on?
I was going with cunning
Excellent.
for a perception type thing. Yeah, I got 3 hits on that.
Excellent. So based on the telltale signs in terms of the layout of the place, the way these people are dressed, the way they're moving and interacting with one another, this seems like a fairly small but established settlement. This looks like these people are familiar with their surroundings. They're moving around relatively normally, relatively deftly, in fact. And there you don't see any outright signs that lead you to believe that they're in any way hostile.
I was saying no cook pots, no little bone trophies.
Nothing along those lines, and there's no overt religious iconography on display. So chances are very good you're dealing with a secular settlement.
So much the better.
You know, there may be some religious practitioners here, but it's not dominant.
Okay. And what do you roll for stealth again in this?
So that would be, I do believe, a larceny is what you're going to be looking at.
Larceny.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Is larceny a thing? I don't see it.
Is it? What is it? And
Let me double
It's-
triple check.
subterfuge.
I
think it's-
apologize. It is subterfuge.
here? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I
Well,
was,
Same vibe, different word.
I was thinking.
Oh,
I
good.
was thinking in Trinity for a minute.
I have
Yes, it's larceny and Trinity.
I have got to play Trinity. There's I think we took Vanish as a skill trick, but it was based off survival. I don't know how we got that during creation, but
because Vanish is a survival skill trick. Just
oh yes. Well, I've got crap for stealth then, so I'm
I
just
mean, I
gonna
feel like survival will work for stealth too, right? Like, why wouldn't it?
survival. Survival
like
would
covering
be
your tracks.
fine. Survival is a lot more like using the terrain to hide.
Yeah.
And you're not using a whole lot of terrain. However, I will grant you a +2 enhancement because of the bright ass lights that are shining in the faces of people who might be looking at you.
I'll take it. Can I roll my dex for that?
Absolutely.
All right. Raw dex +2 is going to be an insane roll because my dex is 5. All right.
And remember, the 2 enhancement is not extra dice. That's just auto successes if you get a hit.
Oh, fantastic. I love that even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 then.
Excellent. Yeah, you're
Good gods.
no one is aware of your presence.
I'm not aware of my
Topher
presence.
is not aware of your presence.
But I know I asked. That's all I know.
So where the fuck are you?
So, Topher,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I get out, not hands up, but out in kind of a hey. Yeah, I'll hop out.
They
Say,
say,
what time of day is it?
it's you took up. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember
up at
correctly,
night.
you were traveling at night, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably a little after midnight.
Okay.
One of the guards kind of nods at you and says, "There's a hell of a storm blowing out there. You need a safe harbor?"
Actually, yeah. Sorry, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Topher Green, a Green Gopher, dispatch and delivery. You may have heard of me. Yeah, we're just taking some shelter in from the storm. I see you have a road here that seems like it kind of goes through.
It does. We're not accustomed to accommodating vehicles of your size, though. This is, bikes and sedans move through here. We usually don't truck too much with trade. People want to pop in for trade and things along those lines. They either pull in and back out, or else we meet them at one of the mouths. Obviously, not during a giant storm.
Well, fair enough. And honestly, I'm sure that everybody would love to stretch their legs. If I could find a safe place to pull the cargo over here and we can keep an eye on it, I'm sure that between myself and our staff, we might be able to make each other's lives a bit easier today.
You're happy. We're happy to have you park anywhere outside the perimeter. If you think you can squeeze it in back here, that's fine too. It's one
Kind of
more
like
one more
eyeball it.
windbreak.
I'll give it a shot. You might want to move that barricade.
All right, they start trying to squeeze the barricades. Separate them out, give you a little bit of extra room.
I give it an enthusiastic thumbs up to the driver.
Oh, great. Yeah. Well, I do have some pilot. I try to pull the. I try to pull it in.
Excellent. What's the handling on that vehicle?
Well, you said it was big and stupid, so assuming -1. Well, I wasn't going to ask them to pull it in. I was giving them the thumbs up that, hey, I'm not going to die, and I was going to walk back to the car.
Fair enough.
I see the truck
I might
moving
just
down.
kind of inches. Then I won't roll for this, but I'll inch toward you.
Yeah, there's a plow. Just hold on. I'll get back to the driver's seat. And
Do you know how to parallel park this thing?
I can park anything anywhere. I'm just waiting for them to move anything out of the way so I don't knock it over.
Go ahead and give me a piloting roll. You have a complication of 2. If you fail to resolve that complication, you're going to damage one of the barricades. You're unlikely to damage your vehicle.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not worried about that. So I will make my drive roll. Complication of 2, you said?
Correct.
I'm gonna go with dexterity and pilot if I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I did allude to us potentially shopping here, so I hope you need some stuff. Oof, okay, so 5 plus 2 10s. More. Okay, so 5, 6, 7. 7 successes. So two to not break anything. And I will somehow manage to glide this tank into a reasonable spot back there.
You do so. You manage to even.
Is there any way I can turn it around?
Yeah, you basically back it in around the barricades and manage to do a Y turn using the barricades as a guide. However, what I would like you to do in response to that is occurring, is I would like all of you to go ahead and give me a survival or integrity.
Okay.
This is going to be based on sort of taking in your surroundings.
I'll opt for composure composure.
Excellent. You will have a complication of 1 on this due to the noisy nature of the settlement, as everyone is kind of trying to, batten down their respective hatches.
So that's a -1.
No, what that means is if you do not resolve the complication, there will be some sort of side effect, but you may still succeed.
Okay. Complication was 2 or 1?
1.
Okay, so I net 2 then.
Excellent.
Oh, there's a 10. We like to see it.
And
I've got a 4, so I guess that's net 3.
Excellent. Beautiful. And Rev?
3 8s, a 9, and a 1, if that does anything.
1s do not matter.
Gotcha.
Unless you have no material successes. All right. So as you're sort of settling the vehicle into place, you notice 2 things. One, the air starts to take kind of a antiseptic taste. You're relatively certain, Hayden, that this is a product of heightened radiation.
Okay.
That's probably going to pose a problem. However, in a more immediate concern, you also hear some sort of the echoes of scratching and growls coming from the far side of the settlement.
Is it the side we're facing or we're facing away from now?
Well, now that you've kind of Y-turned, it's the side you're facing away from.
Just behind us. Further in than where we were.
Further in from than where you were.
Okay.
Someone got a loose dog?
The guy with the submachine gun says, "No, sir."
I roll up the window.
I pop up out of nowhere. If you're paying for the bullets, I'll help you shoot.
He looks over at your gun and reaches into like a fanny pack and tosses you a box of appropriate bullets.
Deal. Straight up. COD multiplayer off.
All right. So he starts walking into the settlement, and not shouting, but forcefully declaring, "I need you to clear a path. I need you to move. Coming through." What are you doing in response to all this, Hayden?
Well, I was going to turn to Toph. So aside from whatever that is, we've got a radiation problem. Well, you maybe don't have as much of a radiation problem. There's a radiation problem.
Coming at us? Is it something we can? Well, question the first. Do you want to? There's a rifle under the seat if you want to take pot shots at whatever's back there. I have to stay with the truck no matter what. As far as the radiation goes, is that a question of this way or that way?
What I'm concerned about, and I think I'd like to probably do a roll to discern more information, but Hayden says what I'm concerned about is that it's the storm. I mean, not the tornado, but the radiation part of that storm. So I would like to roll maybe, gosh, would that be maybe survival?
Survival would be fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to roll a survival to try and kind of get a little more intel on this. Like, do I think this is the incoming storm, or do I think there's something else going on?
Sure.
And I'm going to pair that with intellect, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Cool. Ooh, a 10. Ooh, 2 10s. That 10 turned into a 10. We love to see it. Okay.
Buster bombs.
Okay, that's 5 successes.
Excellent. So you come to the conclusion that the tunnel is going to be, provided a microburst doesn't kick off in this tunnel, you're about as protected as you could hope to be from the actual winds and various electrical phenomena of the storm. That is the good news, and that is the precise end of the good news. The radiation that's being blown around is absolutely unaffected and does not care at all about the tunnel that you're in, largely because there are 2 giant gaping holes at either end of the tunnel that radiation can move in through. So while if it were passing over you, you'd probably be either okay or at least somewhat insulated from it. If that radiation is moving at ground level, you're likely to suffer full exposure in the tunnel.
Okay. My other question that Hayden would definitely know would being inside the truck mitigate that in any way?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously you're not. Yeah, but
literally anything, any sort of barrier that you can place between yourself and the radiation will be is better than nothing.
Close
Now,
the air vents.
right, yeah, close the air vents. Anything you can do to mitigate it. Having said that, chances are fairly good that you will deal with some level of radiation exposure throughout the entire duration as the storm passes. So it is going to be a case of, if you decide to hunker down, you're going to need to remain hunkered down in order to claim that benefit.
Okay. Hayden's gonna say, all right. Shut the vents to the cab here. Since you gotta stay with it anyway, that radiation's coming. So
Do we stay or do we leave?
oh, it's not gonna matter. To my knowledge, I think the only thing getting out of this tunnel is gonna do to us is also put us in the eye of a tornado. So
Or it goes the other way. Hey, do y'all need some cover back there?
Who are you shouting at?
The people with the guns that were moving toward the noise.
They're at this point, they're about halfway through the settlement.
Okay.
The lead person, probably honestly doesn't hear you. He's listening for the scratching, which, Rav, as you get closer, you notice is absolutely growing louder and closer, and those growls are also starting to be accompanied by a couple of barks, and you also hear some twisting metal noises, as if maybe something is taking bites out of some of those dilapidated cars, just maybe for a taste test. If you'd like, I'd be happy to allow you a lore or survival roll to try to determine what these things might be coming at you.
Oh, I'll take survival. Absolutely. This is great. This appeals to two of my aspirations for this session. Had to happen sooner or later. Nothing.
Excellent. Would you like to spend any of the momentum that we have on hand to re-roll any of those failed dice? You have 4 momentum currently.
Does the group concur?
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sure. So I 1 momentum per die.
Correct.
Okay, I'll use 2. Everybody comfortable?
Yep.
Okay. Balls.
Nothing? Well,
Into the void.
on the bright side, you still do gain a consolation for the failed roll, so you are back up to 3 momentum now. And the bright side is you do get a glorious display as you figure out exactly what these things are as they lunge forward, and you see a remarkable pack of what appear to be large dog-like creatures. They are their coat is very mangy. There are very clear and visible growths and tumors reaching out from beneath their these patches in their fur. Their jaws are distended, probably to about twice the size of what you'd expect from a normal wild dog. And there are a lot of them.
Rottweiler.
More than you can probably safely do a head count on as they're approaching you. As you see one of them sort of bound off of the roof of a car, spitting out the broken shell of a rearview mirror. Several of them just kind of rushing forward. The guy you're with shouts, "Oh shit!" and gets ready to unload. Whilst all this is going on, what's happening back at the car? Were you going to try to rush forth and help them, Topher, or are you going to stay
Well,
locked up with the gear?
so given the situation, and word from Hayden that it's not going to make a difference one way or the other. I know what's outside the way that we came in, and we saw the storm come.
Yes.
I know this has to go out somewhere because something just came down this tunnel.
Yes.
So I'm going to say the hell with it. The mail waits for no one. And I'm going to pull another 180. And I'm going to come in behind because they've already cleared the path, basically. They said they were getting
They
ready out.
cleared a
So
walking path.
I understand that.
There's
So I'm going
there
to
is
widen the path.
okay. You are going, just so that we're clear on how this is going to progress. If you drive through the settlement, you will knock down several of their shelters.
Like really big ones or like little ones?
There aren't any really big shelters here.
Okay.
It's kind of a community of like lean-tos and things along those lines.
So if I do, right, if I happen to drive by or over anybody's shelter, I will like crack the door open and I'll like drop some money on them and continue driving.
Okay.
So some of the UPP tokens or whatever I have to represent
You
my
throw some
currency.
keys out the window.
Yeah. A couple. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
I need a drive check from you. The good news is the difficulty is 1. The bad news is your complication is 6. Every unresolved complication on that roll will be 1 shelter that you severely damage.
Nice. Okay.
Well, Tove, I was going to see if I could buy some Rabigon before the price goes up, but I think we've just made ourselves,
Persona non grata.
yeah.
Okay, we're on.
I'm reminded of soldiers in Afghanistan shoving cash into people's hands.
Luckily, we have your momentum now.
You do. So I would like everyone to, if you would be so kind, go ahead and roll the skill that you are planning on using first, plus cunning, because initiative works differently in Dystopia Rising Evolution.
Okay, so I got 5 successes. So
On your drive roll or your initiative.
My drive roll.
Okay, so that is 1 unresolved. That is 2 unresolved complications.
Right. So two houses.
Right, 2 of the shelters are going to be destroyed.
Sorry.
That's unlikely to bode great for you.
It's okay, but we're gonna solve their dog problem.
Do you want to use momentum
No, for the
for the driver?
there's 2 total, so they'll be okay.
So now I would like everyone to roll the skill they plan on using in their first die roll and their cunning for an initiative.
I'm going to do close combat.
All right.
Or empathy? I don't know. Survival? Do survival.
Well, survival's fine.
Oh, okay. That's okay. 1.
Excellent. Rev?
Cunning plus firearms, I came out to 3.
Excellent. And Topher?
Cunning and pilot, I got 4.
Excellent. So your action is going to resolve first as you lurch forward with the car and just start pushing settlement out of your way. People are kind of diving. You rip the roof off of one building and just straight up knock another one over. As you pass the one that you've knocked over, you can clearly see there are 2 people trapped underneath that collapsed building. That would be your first action. Next, we go to Rav. What would you like to do?
If they're okay with me shooting, I'm going to start plinking.
You may absolutely do so. What you are currently facing down is a scale 2 pack of radiotes, which means that it has you have to overcome an additional 2 difficulty in order to affect it with your weaponry. So your difficulty is going to be a 5.
5. All right. I have, let's see, a hunting rifle has enhancement 2. Does that mean?
That means if you get a material success on the die roll, those 2 are additional to that material success. It's not extra dice, it's just automatic successes. So effectively, it cancels out the difference in scale.
My ignorance is educational to our viewers. All right. And double checking here because I have the sniper quality and I'm trying to remember what the hell it does.
Sure, 1 second.
E is for edges. 65. Come on.
Said page 65?
Yeah.
Um,
Or 66, 67, something like that.
let's see.
Sorry for the hold up, everybody.
Oh, you are all good. So, Sniper, you have it at what level?
That is at 3.
So, at 1, your character's Steely Calm improves your aim. Double the weapon's enhancement as a result of your character taking time to carefully aim and attack. So, if you spend an action aiming, you get to double the enhancement of your weapon. Cool. 2 is a sniped shot. You subtract 1 from all difficulty increases for factors like range, wind, fog, shooting into a crowd, or poor light. Also reduce any complication of making a shot due to environmental factors by 1. However, the scale difference is not affected by that.
Okay.
3rd is the called shot. Your character knows how to aim a shot to accomplish almost any goal. When firing at a target who is unaware they are under attack, add 2 points worth of extra weapon tags. So that sniper is not going to do you a whole lot of good unless you take the turn to aim, which you're welcome to do. But you're pretty sure there will be at least some of the oats will make it to the settlement, if not to you, by the time you manage that.
I'll take quantity over quality in this case. Okay, so that's Dex plus firearms.
Correct.
Which is good because that's the 2 things I'm best at. 9 dice. Hot zog. Hello, beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 5 hits.
And that's including the enhancement?
No.
Okay, so
That's what I got there.
So 7 in total, then, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. That is sufficient to reduce the scale of the horde by 1, which is good news for you. But it is not sufficient to stop them. So that brings us to Hayden, as ties do go to player characters. So what would you like to do, Hayden?
How far are we right now from this horde of yotes?
You are probably 50 to 75 meters, probably.
Okay. Okay. What I think Hayden is going to do is kind of look to Toph and be like, keep driving, I'll catch up. And since we're kind of rolling forward, just hop out the passenger side and try and get the people out from under their house that just got flagged.
Excellent. So you're going to try to pop out and give a hand to those wounded folks.
Yeah, especially considering, well, I mean, I guess considering the Hippocratic Oath, but more importantly, considering they may be bared down upon by Yotes shortly. It just seems like the right thing to do.
Sure. You hop out of the moving vehicle. It passes you, giving you a clear line to the fallen shelter. Why don't you go ahead and give me? I would take close combat. I would probably prefer athletics, but I would take close combat. And then
Perfect.
whatever you would like to rely on for your, if you're just trying to like, are you, I guess, rewind that for a moment. Are you planning on trying to lift what's off first? Are you planning on trying to pull them loose? Or are you planning on trying to figure out their condition?
I think realistically, I should try and figure out their condition so I can discern whether it needs to be lifted off them or whether or not they can be pulled.
Excellent. In that case, let's do a medicine check, please.
Sounds good to me. And I'll pair that with intellect just because it seems like a thing that you would be smart for.
It's a good call.
If I see what Hayden is doing, is it feasible for me to toss a pry bar out?
Oh, you can toss the pry bar out the window, sure.
I'll definitely pick it up while I'm doing my diagnostic here. All right. Nice. Got a couple tens here. So there's 10 number 1. Became 10 number 2. I'm having great luck with that today. Here's the other 10. Became an 8. We like to see that. That isn't a dang. Okay, I will take it. That is 8. That is 8 successes.
Beautiful. So you're acutely aware of every contact point and every space of injury. You do know that if you try to pull them loose, you are just as likely to inflict more damage as you are to get them free. However, if you lift the building off of them, your chances of doing so are far less. There will be a complication of 3 to any attempt to lift them off. However, due to the extreme success that you received, you will also receive an enhancement of 2 on your attempt. So,
Adrenaline.
yeah. But that will have to wait until the following turn.
For sure.
So, Rav, as you are moving forward, and the Yotes that are remaining are closing in on you and your buddy, you see the Yotes sort of pounce on your friend.
This is the townie?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
I'm going to click my VATS and try for an interception.
How would you try? How would you try to get in the way?
Shoot it.
Oh, this is effectively happening the round that you fired. So,
okay.
So yeah, you don't have an available shot. You're picking them off, but there are just too many of them.
So not really anything I can do with that information, but good to know.
But except for watch it. Now, as they leap forward, he deftly does like a James Tiberius Kirk somersault.
Something deft about that, but sure.
And makes his way up onto the top of one of the barricades that's sort of set up on the other side of the settlement, the same arrangement as the ones that you pulled up. At that time, it becomes very clear to you that there is a vehicle bearing down on you from behind, ripping the settlement apart as it comes your direction.
Thinking to myself, this can't be their first rodeo. What are you doing?
And that brings us back around to the top of the order. Topher, what would you like to do?
And I actually got the situation under control back there. I would like to test the plow.
I would like to remind you that there are 3 barricades and 2 people between you and those Yotes. One of them is one of your traveling companions.
I want to plow them.
You don't want to? Never mind.
Not before the fight. No, I will. I guess I'll lay on the horn.
Excellent.
And rev the engine in a clear sign of aggression, and give them the opportunity to move.
Rav, would you like to move out of the way?
I'm going to look back at the Pork Chop Express bearing down on us, just eyes flare wide in the light, which is fuck, and just get the hell out of the way because that's several brands of Nope at the same time.
Excellent. I would like you to choose your resilience attribute. Roll that attribute doubled because you're going to take a full defensive action. And then you have a +1 complication because you're a Lascarian and there's a bright light flashing in your face.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you gain a momentum for
it. Yay! I guess resolve.
All right.
I'd love to like swift and dex my way out of this, but yeah. Okay, so double resilience.
Double your resolve. Yep.
Okay, let's hope. Good gods. That's 1, 2, 3.
Excellent. So that is sufficient, not only enough for you to get out of the way, but you can also move a range band in either direction. So if you wanted to, the truck is certainly not moving fast enough that you couldn't jump on the side of it as it goes by you. You could also move a range band deeper into the tunnel full of yotes if you wanted to.
No,
just making sure you're aware of your options.
I appreciate the red highlighted option on my choice wheel. Yeah, there's, if I recall correctly, the sides of this thing have like heavy machine guns.
So those are currently closed up.
Yeah,
they're in effectively platforms that roll out from the sides. So right now they are flush with the side as everything has been sealed up in the back.
I honestly feel like I'm doing well enough with my rifle that it would be wasting time deploying and firing them. So I will just see if there's an elevated position of barricade that I can set up and start taking shots again without getting run over.
If you like, I'm happy to allow you with that roll result to hop onto the top of the plow as it approaches.
That'll work fine.
Excellent. That will, however, be your action, is getting on top of the plow.
That's fine.
And that will bring us to Hayden. What would you like to do?
Well, I have a follow-up, if I may, as I'm plowing.
What would you like to do as you're plowing?
I would like to radio to the back where our other friend is and ask them to open fire on the Doges.
You hear radio static, and then and like something packages crying.
Guns. I say guns like 4 times.
Guns.
Broadsides.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think with the enhancement of 2, I might actually have success in lifting this makeshift home off of these people. You said that the difficulty is 3, correct?
No, the difficulty is 1, complication is 3.
Okay.
Your enhancement is 2. Any complication that you fail to resolve will result in injury conditions to both parties that are pinned.
Cool. Love that. I hope that I don't have to use momentum, but I would like to if this goes very poorly. I'm guessing this would be an athletics situation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Athletics.
Athletics and resolve is what I would like to do if that's possible.
Perfect. Yeah, you are resolute.
Nothing from the pry bar?
I mean, you threw the pry bar. The pry bar is on the ground, so I'll allow you. I'm nothing if not a generous deity, so I'll allow you to pick up the pry bar and use that for another +1 enhancement.
Love it. Thank you, and thank you, Toph. All right, so resolve plus athletics. Let's see how we do. Well, I have 10s. Again, this is the best I have ever rolled.
Good.
This is great. I mean, just like, not necessarily this specific roll, but this session is the best I have ever rolled.
Oh, I know. I was there for adventure.
I know. It was so bad.
We got post-game stories to share now. What was your best dice roll?
All right, let's see here. Okay, we love that. So that was 2 10s I re-rolled. Only one of them came up with anything else. Wow, I'm sorry, I forgot how to do math for a second. That is a 5 successes, not including the enhancements. So
Excellent. So
that's 8.
that comes to 8. So that's enough to be considered still an exceptional success. So not only do you sort of pry this up and let them scoot out safely, as you're holding it up, you can see a box in the back of the wreckage of their settlement of Rad Begon. It's probably got 10 doses in it.
Hayden just picks it up, puts it in their pocket, and is like, being good does pay off. All right, back.
Excellent. On that note, the remaining Yotes are going to break into 2 groups. Each group is going to, one group is going to attempt to eat your friend who's on the barricade. The other group is trying to leap onto the plow in order to take a bite out of Rav. Now, the ones that are leaping up towards Rav are going to have to overcome your defense, which is going to, because you got 3 successes on your defensive roll, it's going to be a 4. And they will have an additional complication because you're up on top of a moving vehicle. So chances that they're going to hit you are probably pretty slim, but we're going to give it a shot.
Complication, I get to run them the hell over.
They managed to nip alarmingly close at your feet, but do not actually succeed in biting you. Your companion from the townie, not quite so lucky, as you see one of them not so much leap on him as leap past him, but as they pass him, you see a probably about a 45% chunk of his face come clear off as the yote passes him. Blood sort of running out of the yote's mouth as it sort of gnaws on its trophy.
My one consolation is there's literally nothing I could have done about this.
That's a fair assessment.
This isn't even a failure. There was no chance.
At this stage, you all sort of experience a heightened taste of that antiseptic sort of taste in your mouth. Gets a little worse. And I need each of you to give me a resolve plus stamina roll, please.
Does Toph get anything for covering the vents?
Your difficulty is 2. Toph will be able to gain enhancement equal to the armor rating of the vehicle.
And you said resolve plus
Stamina.
Rav,
you are currently unaffected by the radiation poisoning.
I got 4 plus whatever enhancement.
Topher, you are absolutely fine. Hayden, you suffer the radiation poisoning condition.
Okay.
Thankfully, you just stole the solution from the people whose houses got wrecked.
You take a injury condition.
Okay. Injured.
And you now take continuous scene damage. So at the end of each scene until you are treated, you will continue to take damage. However, you gain momentum every time you take damage. So now you're at 5 momentum.
Yay.
Yeah, you immediately, you pick up the Radbegon, put it in your pocket, get that taste sort of overwhelms you, and you immediately throw up.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I literally is just like Sagan is just like, but the rat be gone. It's fine. Oh, this sucks. It's just gonna kind of try and make their way back to next turn is gonna try and make their way back to the truck.
Excellent. And speaking of the truck, that brings us back to the top. Topher, what would you like to do?
I would like to collide with as many of these dogs as I can.
Excellent. I'm going to have you make a piloting roll. You're going to be at a complication of 3 because you're trying to hit a bunch of small dogs all at once.
Sure. So here's my question, and you can tell me whether. So I have this thing that works on vehicles, right? So it's called road rage,
Yes.
right? Now it lets me ram vehicles, but I'm not ramming vehicles. I'm trying to ram small things.
Let me look at the specific. What page? Do you have the page number for Road Rage by chance?
It's on 71. I mean, it's very. It seems very. I want to break things.
You can. Okay, so this specifically. Okay, so if you spend 2 momentum.
Oh, okay. If I spend two momentum, I can hurt people.
Right, and I would allow you to spend 2 momentum to take out this remaining pack of radiotes.
Yeah, I will.
Without the
Definitely.
need for a roll.
Oh, okay.
As long as the party's cool with you spending that momentum.
I would love to spend 2 momentum. We have 5 right now, right?
Excellent.
May I have 2? Is that okay? Cool.
Excellent. You rush forward and knock out the remaining yotes. They go flying in 5 different directions, slamming into the walls. You see in several areas where they impact the walls of a vehicle, they leave kind of a bloody, pus-filled smear where they hit. Almost as if, like, if you remember RoboCop, when the guy fell into the sludge, like that's kind of the level at which they gib when they hit a solid object.
Why is everything so juicy?
It's the radiation.
I will hit the windshield wipers.
Real Planet Terror vibes here.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the Rev, that brings us to you. You see these various things sort of popping off. I would like you. We'll go ahead and say you notice. I'm assuming you are averting your eyes from those bright ass lights.
As best I can.
As you are doing so, you clearly see 3 townies making their way toward Hayden, who is sort of retching at the moment. And each of them is holding some piece of lengthy, solid object. One is holding like a piece of rebar. One has a pipe, and one has Lucille. Effectively, they're holding a baseball bat with a length of barbed wire around the top of it, and they're closing in on Hayden pretty quickly.
I'll use Swift if that matters, but I'm going to move to intercept.
It does. You can get between them with Swift.
All right. Let's see. Intimidation is not its own skill.
Generally, that's a persuasion roll.
Yeah, and I don't have that at all. So I am literally just going to like skid in front of them, like rifle held up to the side, other hand up. She's a medic. She can help.
All right, why don't you go ahead and roll? I would say either persuasion. I would go so far as to allow for empathy, and whatever attribute you feel pairs best with it. I would say probably either presence or manipulation.
I'm going with manipulation.
And you are going to have to overcome a negative attitude of 2 because they are certainly not compelled to listen to you at the moment.
Y'all mind if I throw momentum at this?
Yeah. Please.
How much would you like to spend? There's 3 left in the pool at the moment.
I need 2.
All right. Yeah, go for it.
No, I'm saying I need 2 to succeed.
No, you need 2 to overcome the complication that they had. So your difficulty is 1. You will their negative attitude acts as a complication. If you succeed and do not resolve that complication, while they may break off an attack at you, chances are good that you will draw some sort of hostility from them, whether that be a demand to drop your weapon or surrender or something along those lines.
All right, then I need to spend 2.
Excellent.
That squeaks by.
Beautiful. So you're down to a momentum of 1. They stop and they're like, "We're keeping an eye on you. What the hell is the matter with that guy?"
That's a real good question. I just hired him.
I think he's trying to take out your dogs. Barfs again, probably.
You do so, in fact. And that will bring us to Hayden. What would you like to do, apart from eject the remaining matter that was in your stomach?
It's very upsetting because food is not necessarily the easiest resource. I think originally Hayden was going to try to do something, but given the state of them, they're probably going to take a dose of Radigon.
Okay, excellent. You inject yourself with a dose of Radbegun and are no longer suffering from the radiation poisoning condition. As you inject it, and it makes it like clearly blackens the vein where you pop it in, and that sort of travels for a minute and then starts to fade. But you almost immediately begin feeling better. The nausea starts to go away. The taste in your mouth starts to return to a normal taste. And the 2 folks on the ground lose an injury condition as they are bleeding. And that brings us to Topher.
Who's on the ground? Are we talking about the people who I moved the stuff away from?
Absolutely.
All right. Yep. Cool. We'll
They're still alive,
next.
but they are currently losing blood. Topher, what you
and
got?
this does resolve my radiation poisoning, right? So I can uncheck that.
Correct. You no longer suffer
Awesome,
from
thank
radiation
you.
poisoning. You do, however, still have the injury condition that you got from the radiation poisoning.
Okay. Cool.
Are there more dogs?
You don't see any. There's none in the hallway that they're still up.
Then I will roll down the window and poke my head out and yell over the engine. Hey, dogs back there!
I'm moving to like put some cloth on the dude's like face rack, and as I'm doing it, I just sort of call out, "Turn off your lights."
It's not how I'm like able to see down this dark ass tunnel though.
It's very clear to you whether you choose to allow this to fuel your decision-making process as it may. But it's very clear to you as Rav is approaching the light beams. He's shrinking and like recoiling from it.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll definitely turn them off.
Excellent.
I thought it was past Rev because they were back there though, right? So like, anyway, I will.
Right, Rav went behind you, but now is running in front of you to treat the one soldier who is still in front of you, who got half his face bit off.
Yeah, I was gonna check on that guy.
All right, so you're gonna hop out and check on that guy as well?
If I don't hear any dogs or anything. And
Yeah, you don't hear any dogs or anything like that. You do hear more static on the radio as if somebody is trying to...
Right. I'm gonna check. Yeah, hold on. Well, if Rav's going to that guy, I have to check in the back because I heard weird messages. So I will go around to the back of the truck and climb in.
Excellent. Rav, you reach the injured gentleman. Do you have medicine?
No, I take people apart. I don't put them back together again. That being said, I figure intellect is enough to know put pressure on a thing.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a survival check, please. You may rely on intellect. You're going to be at a difficulty of 2 and a complication of 3. If you make the difficulty but do not resolve the complication, you will simply prevent any further loss of health until somebody else can do it. 2 successes?
Just the 2.
All right, it's just enough that you can. You basically are, as long as you are standing there and holding that pressure, he won't lose any more health levels. Hayden, you are now able to, if you so choose, either treat yourself or treat the wounded at your feet.
I'm going to treat the wounded. I stopped the radiation, so I'm not going to continue to take damage at the moment. Worry about myself later.
Are you going to treat their wounds or give them Rad Begone first?
Do they look like they're poisoned?
You don't see any outward signs of radiation poisoning yet.
Yet. Okay. We're going to treat the wounds first.
Okay.
Because one has the ability to make them bleed out. Although, if they have radiation poisoning, I'm going to give them Rad Begone. Because I do know if they have radiation poisoning and they get taken out, they die. So, going to administer Rad Begone to both of them. It seems only fair as it's theirs.
That's fair. You inject them both with the Rad Begone. That does take effectively the span of a turn. And
No problem.
then on the next turn, since Topher had to step away for a moment, I'll let you go ahead and make a medicine check to treat their injuries.
That I would like to do. I will do medicine, and I think it's reasonable to combine this with intellect. So that is what I am. Okay, well, it's better than what I did last time. Okay. That is a success of 3.
Excellent. You are
Which is
able.
pretty sad for how much I rolled, but I'll take it.
That's fair. You're able to stop both of their bleeding and effectively reduce one of their injury conditions by 1.
Okay, I have disinfectant and bandages in my pack, so I presume I'm using them.
Excellent. Do you have more than one of each of those?
Not a lot. I think I have 2 of each.
Now you have one of each.
I'm fine with that. That works. That's fair.
Excellent. Topher.
Yes, resource management, the game.
You pop open the back door.
That's red markets.
Darcy is floating in the middle of the truck, the middle of the chamber. There are several sort of black, wispy kind of lines of energy emitting from each of the 4 containers that seem to be plugged into her around the temples. She is wailing in agony, and you hear, not so much audibly as in the very depths of your soul,
Well, okay. Well, where were those nutrient packs again?
the nutrient packs are inside of the containers themselves. It's all meant to be self-contained.
So this wasn't part of the plan.
No.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to try to extract Darcy from the machines because, well, the staff is not here to be eaten.
It's valid.
That wasn't part of the deal.
And just to be completely clear, there is no actual, the actual plugins aren't what's stuck into her. There's it appears to be visible bands of psionic energy that are stuck in her head.
Oh, Oh, so the things they're not physical.
Right.
They're like little energy tendrils.
Yes.
Oh, well, this is a little outside of my specialty, so I feel like uh forcible detachment is probably the way to go. So I'm gonna go with the naive solution and I'm gonna pull Darcy out of there
All right, so
by her legs.
you grab Darcy and yank.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens if I start pulling.
Excellent. What would you like to rely on to do that?
Well, Topher's not a very strong individual, he's just durable, and nimble-esque. So I will rely on my stamina to heave appropriately, uh, and I guess athletics.
All right, go ahead and give me an athletics and stamina. You run up and sort of wind your arms around Darcy's ankles and just jump backward.
Yeah, I'll push. I'll push against the crate or the truck or whatever I can to get leverage and see if we can, free some Darcy. Stamina, athletics. Hey, 4.
Excellent. You do break Darcy free. She loses consciousness immediately as the two of you tumble out of the back of the van. I would like you to roll. Let's do empathy and whatever resilience attribute you would like to rely on.
Mm-hmm. For the crying in the depths of my soul.
Yes, for
Yeah.
the horrible psychic onslaught you're about to suffer.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with stamina.
Your difficulty is 3.
That's what we got. We got stamina, empathy. All right, we got a 10. Hold on. Got to keep the mail moving. That's 3 successes.
Excellent. You suffer no stress conditions. However, you get, like, for the briefest of moments.
Oh, you have mind resistance. I have mind resistance too.
Oh, excellent. That would come in handy.
5, right? That's 5. Yeah.
That would come in very handy. In that case, yeah, you don't even actually feel anything. You just pull her loose and land on your butt, and she lands kind of like on her back, like a reverse belly flop. And you're both on the ground outside of the truck. The tendrils sort of dissipate in an outward rapid burst of psionic energy. Doesn't seem to have any noticeable ill effect.
Is Darcy breathing?
Seems to be.
I will I'll pull Darcy up off the ground, get an arm under her, and Hayden and Rev, we have a bit of a cargo issue. If we could wrap it up over there with whatever's going. Are those guys okay? Are y'all okay? Sorry about your house.
Rav,
They're stable now.
What are you doing as Hayden is stabilizing these people?
I'm calling out to Hayden if I can get this guy on his feet and walking toward them. That is 100% what I'm doing.
Excellent.
Somebody tries to say, "Are you busy?" It's just like, mm-mm.
Yeah, no, that's no problem, and people are giving you a fairly wide berth. Though now about half of the settlement have grabbed various implements and have sort of crowded in a semicircle facing Hayden. Not probably about 10 feet back, about 30 feet back. they're about 10 feet away from Hayden, gathered in a semicircle, holding weapons. As you approach with this poor injured soul over Topher's sort of shouts to you. Hayden Rav walks up with this bleeding individual.
Yeah, no, Hayden's going to take one look at him and be like, The Yotes did that. Okay? Sorry about your house. But I think this might be a problem. And it's going to take a look at his face.
Sure. Go
I
ahead
was
and
going to
give me-
say cheek, but I think most of his face is gone, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean it's a not small portion of this side of the face. Go ahead and make that a medicine check if you don't mind. Topher, what are you doing as you see this playing out before you?
I will address the crowd. And I will still holding on to Darcy. I will kind of use her as a marionette, if you will. Like I'll kind of hold on to her hand as well, and I will gesticulate with it. Because if I'm just holding an unconscious person, it might seem a little off-putting. So dancing with an unconscious person probably is no less off-putting. And I will say, look, survivors and civilians, citizens, look, our crazy careers will brave the infested wilderness to make sure that these things get moved. Sometimes bad things happen. But I can promise you that if you ever need a parcel delivered, you can expect the same doubtless and courageous level of service from us going forward. And of course, our insurance will cover your losses. I would like to, so I have convincing orator.
That's going to come in handy. What page is convincing orator on?
It's on 78.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That
Your sales pitch was your sorry, I'll save it. Hayden will say that later.
that does give you +2 enhancement, which is going to come in handy.
I'm attempting to influence them at least, if not, I'm just attempting to favorably I'm not trying to make friends necessarily. I'll settle for neutral.
There is a negative attitude of 3 toward you right
Okay.
now in the area. So you're going to need to overcome complication of 3. Your difficulty is going to be 3. And if you succeed, beyond the complications, additional successes can be spent to reduce the attitude.
Okay.
The atmosphere, I'm sorry.
So under what condition, so does my fame apply at all?
Sure.
I'm just trying to make sure I get on my ducks road. I'm going to pull the trigger on this because if this goes poorly, it's going to go really, really bad.
Yes.
So I guess I will go with persuasion
Sure.
and
And what's your fame?
2.
Right. So that'll be an enhancement.
Okay. And I guess cunning or presence?
Presence
Cunning or
would be good. Presence would be good.
Okay. How much momentum do we have? Do we have any left?
You have 1 momentum in the pool.
All right. I might need that just so you guys know. So my total enhancement's going to go 4 then?
Correct.
Okay.
Difficulty 3, complication 3.
Yeah, I heard you the first time.
I'm not the one that drove through a settlement with a plow.
Look, we had to get through. Okay, and that's 7 total.
Excellent. So that's enough to reduce the attitude or the atmosphere by 1.
So they're not quite chanting the great or good yet.
Right. Yeah, they're not. No one is attacking you, but it's very clear to you that they want you to collect your shit and get out of there at the earliest possible convenience.
And as far as the dogs go, you're welcome.
You're not making it better. I would like an empathy roll, please, from both Rav and Hayden.
Yep. Okay. Ooh, I got 10s again. I like that. That's exciting. Maybe especially like it when it turns out like that. All right, that's 5 for me.
4 here, Benny of a Tenny.
Excellent. You both kind of noted as that psionic energy sort of dispersed, as the bond was broken between Darcy and the cargo. You did notice like a wave of fear wash over you. Not like literally like the feeling of someone else's fear washing over you. It didn't cause any damage or difficulties for you, but you definitely acknowledge that it's there. And with success at that level, you both are almost immediately reminded of a little piece of caution that the client provided for you about the nature of these packages and the psionic energy contained within them. And that little piece of energy is that, or a little piece of information is that the psychic energy in these packages are like a beacon to Zed.
We should stay away from settlements then.
We need to get the hell out of here. And Hayden, on their next turn.
You're effectively out of rounds at this point, unless somebody does anything like
Okay.
run someone over the car.
Hayden's just going to say, look, I know a lot happened at once. I know you're all scared. The storm that's coming is also a rad storm. You need to get into as much cover as you can because you might be protected from the winds, but you're not protected from the radiation here. We're going to get the hell out of here. Please make the right decision.
Take shelter in the shelters that we just destroyed and use the rat away that we just stole.
Listen,
I will.
only 2 shelters got destroyed.
Out of...
Hayden, we have a problem. I can hear you
There was
shaking.
at least 6.
Hayden, Hayden, there's a Darcy.
Yeah. Cab. Everybody get in the cab. We gotta go.
Don't climb in the back. It's a bad scene back there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna get real friendly.
Box has tried to get Darcy.
As you pass the back, headed toward the cab, you can all faintly, not so much hear as experience.
They're,
Oh, I don't like that. What the hell is that?
yeah, I think they're hungry or whatever.
I told you they were creepy. I told you there was something up with them.
Look, contract's a contract, okay? They got to get where they're going.
Okay, let's go.
Pile into the cab with an unconscious Darcy.
Kind of like, probably like smashed against the side. Darcy on lap is gonna try to tend to Darcy while we're driving out.
Go ahead and give me a medicine check, please.
Okay. Not the best roll. There's a whole lot of 1s in there.
And
But we've got 3. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Topher, I'm assuming you're closing the back as you...
Yes.
What was your result, Hayden?
3 successes.
You are reasonably certain that Darcy is in a coma.
Okay, that's fine. Everything's fine. Is kind of gonna. Okay. Yep. Kind of looks through their pack and is just like, just no shit. Coughing cold, definitely not. Okay, cool. I don't have anything to deal with this. Just keep driving. It's just gonna kind of like maybe elevate the head, make sure that the vitals are good, and that's
Going into the cab with us, or just leaving them back there?
No, we have to.
Oh yeah, no, I think we're all in the cab.
Yeah,
Darcy is like across our laps.
Oh, okay.
it's very cozy right now. But
We're getting to know each other
when I
really
found Darcy,
well.
she was hanging in midair, and these things had brain tentacles stuck in her head.
Yes, psionic, not my specialty, but I can make sure her vitals don't give out, I guess.
Are you pressing forth out the other side of that tunnel?
Yes. I'm not going to turn
Is
around.
the storm over?
No. There's still winds blowing out there.
Yeah.
How much further does the tunnel go?
About another half mile.
Think we're safe a quarter mile in?
I mean, better than going out into the storm if we can handle it.
You can get
We
pretty
just need to
close.
get away from the settlement.
You can get pretty close to the lip without exposing yourself to the winds.
I'm more worried about the rads.
I mean, the rads are there's nothing you're going to do about that until the storm blows over. But
Well then.
I mean, staying in the cab helps you immensely. You've all resisted the poisoning so far, and you're currently in a shielded cab, so you're basically good to go as far as that's concerned. Probably even out into the actual physical storm, as long as the vehicle doesn't get ripped up. So how close to the mouth do you want to get, Topher?
Visual.
Okay. You pull up to where you can see the mouth. As soon as you park, you notice shapes in being blown around in the wind. Vaguely humanoid shapes.
Oh, hell. While we're still in the cab, can I treat my injury?
Absolutely.
Great. Pain's just like, this sucks. Shit.
Sitting in one place isn't going to do us any good if there's Zed out there and they're coming for these boxes.
You're not wrong. Yeah, that's. I'm reasonably sure that crying, creepy boxes are doing the Zed Beacon thing right now, so maybe we should floor it.
Survival cunning. Any idea to tell from here viewing the storm if there's any shot that this is going to pass soon?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a roll.
I took the liberty. 1, 2, 3.
Chance, it's a twister. Like the actual like weather event is a twister. You've probably got 5 minutes tops till it blows past. You're not sure about how long the radiation is going to stay afterward, but there's definitely the brunt of it will be passed within about the next 5 minutes. But since you got 3 successes, I will also clue you in as to another little piece of trivia that you may wish to consider, which is that if those boxes are calling Zed, and there are Zed blowing around in the storm on this end of the tunnel, it stands to reason there are probably also Zed blowing around in the storm on the other end of the tunnel. Once that storm passes, any Zed that have been dropped are likely to get back up and start making their way into the tunnel, and any others in the area are likely to follow suit.
Should we try to save whoever we can?
I feel like I'm obligated to say yes. Yes.
We have a tarp that we can throw over the cargo, right?
Sure.
Oh,
We could also save them by getting the hell out of here. They're following the beacon.
Aren't they going to come in here anyway, whether we're here or not?
Not if we're calling them away, hopefully.
Just a point of order so you're aware of it. The boxes are no longer actively making the level of you heard a little bit of like weeping as you got close to them, but it's fairly reasonable to you that large burst of psychic energy is what pulled the Zed in.
It is powered by the heart of a forsaken child.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I rescind what I said. Yeah.
I
Now,
suppose.
Having said that, if you wanted to agitate the boxes and then open the back door so that the energy was going out, you could certainly Pied Piper those Zed out of here.
That's what I'm thinking because search and rescue is not in my contract.
Not to mention the fact that they might just turn around and try and kill us when we're done helping, because that seems to be the MO. So.
Well, you did run through half their settlement in a dump truck.
I think it was roughly a fourth, actually.
2 buildings.
I'm sure they feel better about that.
That.
You should explain that to them.
Dogs. Probability. Let's go.
All right. Do you think you can navigate us around the side of the tunnel? See if we can get any of them from not passing through the town, but instead toward us outside of it?
I mean, if there's on the other side of the tunnel, we would be calling them through the tunnel.
That's why we have to go beside the tunnel, out of the tunnel, and then back a little bit. Do you think you can handle that driving wise? I'll get out. I'll shake it up. I'll deal with the consequences. But if it gets that town safe, better.
Sure.
I would. Based on, just so you guys know, Darcy's in a coma. So maybe if you're going to shake up those boxes, just throw something at him.
If you think that'll work, Doctor.
I don't know. It's only one way to find out.
Fair enough.
Err on the side of caution, because I can do vitals, but having two people in a coma might be a little difficult. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, avoid the brain tentacles.
Brain
What's to live
tentacles.
by?
So, Rav, while the car is parked, you're going to hop out and get in the back?
Yep.
All right. The boxes seem relatively calm, though you are hearing a little bit of like whimpering in your mind. Do you have any sort of psychic resistance or anything along those lines?
No, but I might upgrade into sensitivity later.
Okay.
This would make a lovely story catalyst for that.
Sure would. So how would you like to go about trying to agitate these boxes?
Is there like a strap or something that's keeping this thing from sliding all over the place?
I would assume they're strapped down to some sort of like a pallet or something along those lines.
I'm going to see if I can like grab the strap from as far away and just jar it, shake it up.
You do so and it has no effect. Do you you possess lore, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you give me a lore roll?
I think I know where you're going. Hello, beautiful. 1, 2, 3.
It occurs
Just to see if I'm predicting it.
Sure.
Is it something like if I shout my emotions at it really hard, that'll cause a reaction?
Similar. The conclusion that you draw is that it wasn't the rad shielding in the back is fine. It wasn't exposure to rads that caused this outburst of panic in the cargo. It was exposure to panic. They're communications devices. Chances are good psychically they operate 2 ways. And while the shielding that is around them can prevent them from passively reaching out to Zed, it's probably not strong enough to prevent them from an entire settlement's worth of panic, for example. So chances are good when people started to freak out, they started to freak out and reached out for the nearest source of comfort.
Would it possibly respond to care or a positive emotion?
It's worth a shot, yeah. You play some Jackie. What was it?
Your love, take me higher. I see you, Travis.
Have you been sleeping with it, Ray?
That's why it multiplied.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm just gonna throw warm memories of being sung to sleep in the Warrens.
Excellent.
See if that has any kind of positive effect.
And as you're focusing on these memories, physically, are you staying by the back? Are you interacting with the boxes in any way? Are you trying to what is your um, physical placement in relationship to the boxes?
Well, this is something positive, so I'm hoping the result is better. And if I'm at a distance, I'm showing fear, so I've got to commit to this. So I'm going to take a gamble, get close to it, and just sort of rest my hand on top of it like I'm trying to comfort it. If this thing is psionic, then it stands to reason this isn't cold technology. There's something in this that's alive, and that needs honesty and something genuine. So I'm trying to give it as much love and comfort and care as I can give a metal box full of psionic abomination.
Sure, that's
Things
fair.
I didn't plan to say today. Hashtag.
Why don't you give me an empathy roll?
Combine it with resolve.
Sure. Yeah, that works for me.
All right. Big money, big money. 1, 2, 3, 4, exploding 5.
Excellent. As you sort of like lean on the boxes and start thinking happy, warm, comforting thoughts. At first, you start focusing on your own memories. You start focusing on your happiest, warmest moments from your youth. You start to feel a flash of other sensations, similar sensations, though from a different perspective. You see a morgue, a sight not entirely unfamiliar to you. The sort of open fungal plane with the psi crystal in the center of it that permits and facilitates people coming back as whole as possible. And within that morgue, you see 3 people dressed in sort of laboratory coat type attire. Relatively clean, relatively sterile. And you feel them, you see them from a worm's eye view. And you feel them reaching out toward you. And you feel that sort of sense of familiar warmth, like the embrace of a caregiver as their hands wrap around your small form. You hear a whisper. I'm so proud of you. You are the first step in reconnecting our world in a way unknown since prior to the apocalypse. You've got big work ahead of you, but we'll make sure that you're taken care of. I can't wait to see you flourish. And you feel a slight beaming of pride in that sentiment, as if being addressed by an approving parent. What would you like to do?
Open my eyes. Are there like tendrils reaching out or anything?
Not so much tendrils reaching out, but there does seem to be almost a sort of black and gray, sparkly ash kind of floating in the back of the truck.
Is it capturable?
Absolutely not. It's purely ephemeral.
Is there any like we're off the map here. Is there a way I could try to push these sparkles toward our comatose companion?
There's a couple of physical barriers between the two of you.
I mean, it's psionic, you know. It's
Right. I mean, you can. Any attempt that you make to physically interact with them fails.
get on the squawk box, throw her back here.
Okay. Let's see. How is there like a big like a sliding window between the cab and the thing, or does it have to?
Absolutely not. You have
If it
to.
was, you wouldn't have to use the radio.
Yeah.
I stopped the truck.
Well, I assumed you were still parked,
Well,
We're parked.
or did you resume?
I was supposed to be navigating outside. That was the plan.
Did you resume movement as soon as you started going back?
Yeah, as soon as
Excellent.
Rav was in back, I was going to start moving.
In that case, I need a drive roll out of you, please, because your difficulty is 4 because you're driving into a freaking tornado.
Hey, I love this job.
This is why dump truck was the move.
I do 2 things, Travis. I drive and I survive. Okay, that's it. And I occasionally talk. That is 7.
Excellent. You pull forth into the tornado. As you manage to pull forth, the wind is whipping around pretty severely in that open back, but you really don't realize it until you actually activate the squawk box, Rev. You're completely oblivious to it while you're connected to the package. As you step out, as you roll out into the winds, a Zed like flies into the passenger side of the car and just gibs. And you pull up, so the tunnel goes underneath kind of a hill. Mm-hmm. You manage to pull up to the top of the hill, and just as the storm is starting to blow past, and you see dozens of bodies laid out on either side of the tunnel, either side of this hill, the squawk bot goes off. And I'm sorry, Rev, what was it that you had said? Bring her back here?
Throw her in the back with me.
Excellent. And no sooner do you hear that than you see the various dozens of bodies start to amble to their feet. And that's where I think we'll call it for this week.
Nice.
Yay.
Dumps like a truck. Delivering what?
Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about tonight's session?
Only compliments.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Theories, anything?
There's psychic demon babies in the box.
Powered by the heart of a forsaken child.
Yeah, it's definitely clear to me that, I mean, I guess it was sort of made obvious even early on that they were created or born or brought up to be this
Psychic
thing.
demon babies. Psychic demon baby telephones.
Psychic demon baby.
Resurrection machine.
Mm-hmm.
The Lazarus phone.
Remains
Coming soon to Ellery Fiction.
Lazarus.
long distance call from eternity.
I actually feel
Elect call.
Hayden can't. That would be meta knowledge, but I feel less concerned about these demon psionic baby boxes than I did before, which is probably wrong. But It's a good thing Hayden has some common sense, I guess.
Listen,
I mean,
you make an omelet, you have to break a few psychic babies.
I guess.
I'm caught somewhere between Dennis Hopper and Land of the Dead in a world where the dead rise up to eat the living. The idea of okay is severely changed. I'm paraphrasing terribly. I misquoted that horribly. But on the other hand, I'm sitting here like I've played enough Stalker to know that sea consciousness isn't a good thing. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Little column A, little column B.
yeah.
Well, let's get you some experience because you're gonna, I'm sure, want to spend some before the next session. So, did anyone achieve any of your short-term aspirations this session?
I did.
What short-term aspirations did you achieve?
So my most recent one was escape the settlement with the cargo intact.
You did so. Congratulations. You may have an experience point. Any other short terms that you
I
completed?
still haven't made my other one, which was get a hot meal. I haven't
You
managed to.
have not yet done so. That's going to be like that's like your Die Hard with a Vengeance aspirin for this chronicle.
Yeah,
Rev, any short-term aspirations that you have achieved?
I definitely got one that was thin the herd, get some kills.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You popped a cap in several of those radiotes. You reduced the scale of the horde by one, so that was several successful hits.
Second one's iffy. It was establish a better reputation.
I don't think anything that happened today helped your reputations at all in the slightest. I think the opposite.
I think you have a great reputation with the psychic demon babies.
Sentences you didn't plan to say today. I sure didn't expect to hear it.
Yeah, so I will go ahead and politely decline to award experience points for that particular aspiration.
That's fair.
How about for Hayden, CJ? Any
Yeah, I got take care of someone, which was purposely worded sort of vaguely, and I definitely administered aid to several people,
You
so I
did.
did take care of them.
Absolutely.
My other one was protect someone, and I don't really think I did that, especially because I think it would be cheap to double up and be like, I protected them by taking the...
No, I would also once again say that you failed spectacularly to protect anyone in that settlement so far. Now, your course of action that you're taking right now is will I think qualify as protecting, since you're effectively turning yourself and your companions into zombie bait. But in the but
Plus, I think it was more damage control than protecting so far.
that's a fair
So-
assessment. All players did achieve at least one of their short-term aspirations, so you may all get one experience point for that. Did anyone achieve any of their long-term aspirations?
No, I don't think these people are going to sign a contract.
Probably not. Unlikely.
I think
You might not get a glowing review from this group.
It's okay. They weren't on my route anyway.
Hayden, you were going to say?
I think make the right call. Even though I could easily say in different situations, I think I made the right call. It's very clear that I put that long term in there as something that holds a significant amount of weight. So
Sure. Sure. So
probably not.
keep that on the back burner. Rav, how about you?
My long term is money, power, safety, food. And if this was the first step towards some kind of psychic awakening, I would probably call this a step in power.
It's a step. It's not a achievement.
I'll take it as groundwork toward this. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I would concur. And that may be impacted by your purchases and or actions next session. You did spend at least half the momentum pool in a single scene, so you may I'll gain 1 XP for that. You did not reach a story milestone because you have not yet made your way out of this settlement where you sought refuge. You are merely on top of it.
We have not reached new map loading screen. Understood.
Right, exactly. So that would be the total XP award. please do not let me forget next session, as I did in fact forget this session, to allow you to do tweaks at the beginning of the session should you choose to do so. You may feel free to spend XP in the interim, or we can discuss it at the top of next session. Hopefully with any luck. Haley's feeling better and will be joining us again next week. Until that time, I would like to give everyone a chance to say your goodbyes. So that since we ended, I believe last time with Rav, let's start things off this time. So please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rav, or I have been Rav. I'm Kevin R. Zarnicki, he, him, both. Voice actor, game designer, writer, occultist, former massage therapist, ghost hunter, urban explorer. The list goes on. You can follow me on Twitter at necromancy101. Besides that, keep tuning in and keep an eye on Shadowrun. Interesting things are about to happen.
Woohoo! I love Shadowrun, and I love interesting things. So it's kind of a twofer for me.
I'll have a little something for you, buddy.
I appreciate that. Next up, let's have Hayden. Please give us all of your pertinent details.
Hi, everyone. I'm CJ Starry. You can find me everywhere under CJ Starry. And other than here, you can also find me on Ink and Lyre, Lyre. I have been Hayden Horn, the resident Sawbones, they, them. My pronouns are also they, them. I am a TTRPG and LARP writer and performer and former professional ghost hunter, actually. Just drop that in there. That's a story for another time.
The Ghostbusters 2 references were extra appropriate, apparently, it would seem.
No XP for that. Wrong game.
Let me tell you, when you go to an interview for a tour guide, you're not expecting the interviewer at the end to go, okay, we're interested, but just to let you know, it's ghost tours and we get hired to do investigations. You cool? And I went, I want a job.
Right. So
They're
you were
to say, do you believe in spooks, specters, monsters, the theory of Atlantis?
At which point you say, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say. So you were effectively the Winston Zeddemore of your job.
I was.
That's pretty
interesting. Awesome. Side note: did you know that Ernie Hudson applied for the voiceover role in the cartoon, and he didn't get it because he didn't sound enough like Winston?
That's funny.
Huh.
That's like a Charlie Chaplin level story, right there.
That's pretty interesting stuff. The more you know. Ding. And speaking of the more you know, Topher, please, your pertinence.
Hi, Leco Rodriguez, teamleco.com, certified personal trainer, able to help you achieve goals or make goals if you don't have any. We can talk about all sorts of stuff regarding fitness, weight loss, and via a free consultation, which you're welcome to go to the website and ask for, or hit me up on Twitter at teamleco, TEAMLECO, he, him. I've been playing Topher, the gopher, the green gopher. Apparently, not only do we handle parcel delivery, we will also pave driveways. It's part of the contract now. It's going to be definitely on our a la carte offerings.
With the bodies of the people in your settlement.
Pretty much, yeah.
Paving the way to success.
They will supply the mortar.
Wow. Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure, as always, to tell stories with y'all. My name is Travis. Pronouns are he, they. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. I do want to once again remind you, OGL sale over at IPR, 50% off traditionally printed books. Go snatch it up. There's a bunch of Scarred Lands, which I've had the pleasure of developing. There's some Changeling the Lost in there. Legend lore, which I got to work on. Tons of fun stuff. Pugmire First Edition. Go over there and get you some books on the cheap. Speaking of getting books on the cheap, there's the mystery sale over at Drive Through Fiction. Lots of short stories and novellas with of the mystery genre at a steep discount. So head over there and pick those up. I want to remind you that also the GM's Day sale over at Drive Through RPG with PDFs at up to 30% off is going on through the morning of the 15th. So you're running out of time. If you haven't taken advantage of that, now is your time to act. And of course, the last Friday of every single month is Onyx Path Game Night over at startplaying.games. This month we are focusing on Trinity Continuum, but you're welcome to run or play any Onyx Path games. So if you want to check out one of our games, this is a perfect opportunity to do so. You can either sign up to run or just look and see what games are on offer. I will probably be adding something for Trinity Continuum myself here in the next day or three. And I want to make sure you are all aware that the backer kit page for the Trinity Continuum player's guide is up. Not for not available for funding yet, but you can hop over there and give the page a follow so you know when it does go live. And that link I'm throwing in the chat right now. It has been an honor, a pleasure, a grand old good time, and I have now kept everybody more than 5 minutes past the bedtime, which I try not to do. So I will shut the hell up and get out of y'all's way. I'll be back here on the channel on Wednesday for Scarlands, Sins of Shelzar, Frostlands of Fenrirlic. We will see you, and we'll be back here next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.